Hi, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I am Kelly Pitts, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Lubbock, Texas, and glad you've joined me today. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I swear to goodness, this board forgot to check the portrait orientation, forgot how to do that on my phone. And evidently it had changed somehow and gotten locked. So anyway, that's all it was you would think that they would put that under settings where you go if you want to check something. You usually go to settings, and then I'm checking the camera. So that's what I checked under camera and settings, and it wasn't there. So I didn't know what to do. Couldn't find it. But sure enough, now I know, and hopefully I'll remember next time. Anyway, I'll just start from scratch here. Again, I'm Kelly Pitts, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I've been a demonstrator since 2005, and obviously have not been doing the videos like this. It's just always some new challenge thrown at me. But glad you're patient and glad you tuned in. If you haven't guessed by the witch earrings and the spider rings, we're going to do Halloween today. This is one of the cards. I showed you one of them last week. I did a class with 4 different cards, and I want to make sure everybody has access to videos to look back and make more of them if they decide to. So would love to have your input on the card. Let me know if you're tuning in live or if you're on the replay on YouTube or Facebook Live. Either one. Would love to know that you've tuned in and get a comment. Just say hi and let me know where you're from. Would love to hear from you. We'll go ahead and get this card going. Thanks for tuning in. I'll switch the camera now to the desktop. There we go. Okie dokie. This card is from the mini catalog, the Stampin' Up! July through December catalog. We call it the holiday catalog. A lot of us do still who've been in Stampin' Up! A long time. And the paper on here is from the Celebrate Today set, Celebrate Everything set of paper that has Halloween and birthday and New Year's and Christmas and all kinds of holiday fun bright colors in it. And it is a Hostess Pack. Whenever you decide you'd like to have a crafty girls night out, I would love to help you with that. And whenever you host a get together at your house or even at my craft studio, whenever your order is $150 or more, then you get 10% of that in Hostess rewards. So if your order is going to be $150, you'll get $15 credit. If it's $180, you'll get $18 credit. And the only people who can order these special sets, the Caroling Mice and the Celebrate Everything paper, plus whatever the Hostess gifts are in the Stampin' Rewards gifts are in the annual catalog, y'all are the only ones who can get that. So isn't that awesome? It's kind of an exclusive club. But you would actually get, this is an $18 Hostess reward amount. So if you say if your order was only $150 and you wanted to get this set, they would let you pay the extra $3. But it is actually a $30 value. It is 48 sheets, 4 sheets of each of the papers, and they are so fun. So I decided to use those on my Halloween cards this year because there were some really, really cute ones in there. So if y'all have any questions about hosting or want to know more about joining Stampin' Up, if you have any questions about where do I get started, where are your classes, that kind of thing, you can just go to my blog at createwithkelly.com and find everything you need to know just about. If you don't, you can call me. And my number is 806-790-0061. And you can also email me at Kelly, Kelley, at createwithkelly.com. So glad I have a couple of people watching there, or I did. I have one, maybe. I also use the Scary Cute little stamp set out of the catalog. This is from page 56 of the holiday catalog. And it is a set that I didn't have, so we're not going to stamp that today. You could use any set you wanted to for that. We are going to play with blender pens and with watercolor pencils today. And then the papers, like I said, the pumpkin paper that comes in black and white, and then the stars that are black with the crushed curry stars are going to be, or both from that Celebrate Everything paper. We are going to get going on the card. This is a fun fold card, and I will tell you the dimensions, and it will also be on my blog. I will do a blog post after this, but this particular one, the cardstock, I'm going to move everything off here that we're about to put together in our little kit. Move all that over, and the cardstock is 4 1/4 by 11, and it is scored at 2 3/4, and that is the bottom portion. I have watched this fun fold on a video before. It was a totally different type of card, but I watched the fun fold and I couldn't tell which part was the top and which part was the bottom. So I want to let you know that this, where it's scored at 2 3/4, and then it's scored 4 1/4, 7 1/4, 8 1/2. So this longer flap here, the 2 3/4 side, is the bottom of our card. You can make it different ways. You can fold it different ways. You can do a lot of different things with this fold. But let me see what this size is. This is just 2 1/2. So the shorter side is the top. The longer side is the bottom. The way we're doing it today. There's not really a right or wrong way. But it does fold up. As you can see from this card, it folds up into your regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it fits in a regular envelope. All right, so here we go. We are going to always look at layering first and see if there's anything you need to do before you glue a layer down. And in this case, there's not. It's glued straight down, so we're going to go ahead and get that done. I'm going to use our stamping seal today. You could use liquid glue, Stampin' Seal, whatever you want. And you just have to make sure and break the tape there. Basically, you just make a little, I don't know how else to explain it, except this is a piece of tape, and you have to just, with a little flick of the wrist, make that happen. And we're just going to line this up on the very bottom of the card. I didn't do a very good job of that, and I should have used liquid glue. That's what I usually use. It just wasn't as handy. But if you get to this quickly, you can make it move. So we've got that layer down, and we have already stamped the next layer. I wanted to show you on this one. This is done with the Deco Rectangles die, which makes it look kind of Halloween-y, I thought, because of the little edges. And what I did was I used a larger piece of paper. I had cut this earlier. Whoops, and now I've done something to it. Oh, I did. I think that's the plate. You do have to be careful if you're going to run it back through the machine, because that's what I did really quickly before I got on the air and didn't think about it, about the plate not being covering that all the way. But if you're cutting a rectangle out of paper, then you're going to have to go again and cut to make it into a square. And what I did was I just cut it at the bottom and did it this way, so I didn't have to try to match up these grooves, because they're probably not going to match, if that makes sense. So you'll just cut this into a square so that you have the deckled edge on all the sides. But when you run it through the Big Shot or the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you'll need to make sure that your plates cover the entire thing so that you don't have a mark on there like I did. See how I have that mark? I just threw a plate on there real quickly and it was at a diagonal. so it shows right where that plate was. But if you run it through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, I would cut it like that cut the rectangle first, and then cut this part of the square, and just make sure your plate covers the entire piece and you won't have any trouble. Okay. So we've already got this stamp from the Scary Cute bundle, and I'm going to just use seal on that too. And we're just going to use, in fact, I'm going to just use on the inside of here, just going to put a little tape there so I don't have to worry about anything on the side there. And I have already dry fit this. I would recommend that. I'm about to get go find my liquid glue because I'm not doing so well with the seal. Get it where you want it first if you're using seal. Oh my goodness. Here we go. All right. Now, there's that. Take my computer glasses off. I might be able to see a little better. And I have already used the Time Worn Type embossing folder on here. It's called Time Worn Type 3D embossing folder, and it's number 156505. And I've cut this pumpkin pie piece with the deckled rectangle, and this is one size smaller than the white one. And we're gonna just glue that one down so that this white is a border around the orange, and then you have the star border at the bottom. And I'm going back to my trusty liquid glue here since I'm on camera. And there is a right side up and upside down on the top, but you can't really read it exactly. But I usually try to go ahead and put it where I see the type, like I can see that WE there. I don't know if y'all can see that on camera. You can kind of see that that's right side up. So I'm just going to put this at the top. And it doesn't go down very far, so we're just going to put it right up here. I'm going to try to leave like an even border-ish all the way around there, and still have room at the top. Might come down just a tad right here. Okie doke. Now we have the bones ready. And I'm going to show you how to do the little, use the blender pens and watercolor pencils. And the watercolor pencils are awesome. I've really been using them a lot lately. We have two different assortments. This is assortment 1. This was the original one, and it comes with 13 colors in the pack. And the assortment 2 comes with 10 colors in the pack, and they're all different. So I do recommend getting both sets. You might start with one and see how much fun you have, and then go with the second one. But they are fun to play with, and you get a lot of colors in a short amount of, without having to buy all the ink pads. If you're just starting, this is a good way to start. And I usually use a piece of cardboard when I am coloring. And this is just, the paper started off black and white, and I've already colored a few of these pumpkins. But I picked this squattier one with that kind of face. I kind of did that everywhere in Cajun Craze, and then did the other pumpkins in pumpkin pie. And those are from 2 different sets. But I'll just show you, you don't have to be perfect on this at all. You just scribble on here, especially since the eyes and the mouth are black anyway. You just kind of scribble some color on, and it's going to look a lot better once we use the blender pen. So that's the pumpkin pie, and this is the Cajun Craze. And I kind of follow the lines of the pumpkin a little bit, but you can scribble. Doesn't matter if you get outside the line just a little bit, it's all right. Then we're going to use Granny Apple Green for the stems. Give it a little color. Okay, now we're going to take our magic blender pen, And you just make sure you don't have any color on it. Make sure it's coming off clear. I'll get a little scratch pad here for that so y'all can see the color on it. And I always start with the lighter color first. And I've colored some of these stars in the yellow. Some of them come printed yellow, but I'm going to go ahead and start with those. The ones that I colored and weren't already that color on the paper. Now you can wipe that off until it comes clear. Get the yellow off. Now you can see that's pretty clear. Now we're going to go with the brighter orange. You always want to start with the lighter color just in case some of that bleeds into the next color. You don't want the dark going onto the light. And you don't want two colors that don't really work well together. When you mix some colors, they'll turn brown. So if you don't want brown, you do have to be cognizant of that to always clean your blender pen off. Okay, so I'm getting all the bright ones, the bright orange ones. I think I've got them all colored. So even though we're going into the brown, the darker brownish Cajun Craze color, I'm still going to get most of that pumpkin pie off. So I have an original Cajun Craze color. So hopefully you can see the difference there. You can see how quick and easy it is to get your colors done like that. And the blends just take out all the scribbles from the colors. Blender pens, not blends. We do have Stampin' blends that are totally different. The Stampin' blends markers are alcohol based, and this is a mixture of glycerin and water. And I don't know the magic formula, but that's what it is. Okay, I'm going to go over the green real quickly since I've got my tip cleaned off. All the oranges off of there. And I think we're in good shape. Let's get that cleaned off so if we don't remember to check next time. And that's it. And then you don't want to sharpen your pencils. I don't want them really, really sharp each time. You'll just eat them up a lot faster if you do that. I like them a little bit dull like we had them today. Then I'm going to show you what a little wink of Stella does. Really on the ghost, it makes a lot of difference. It's fun. Fun to see that on the cute little ghost. Look at them. Now they're all shiny. I love me a little wink of Stella pen. Have a lot of my Create with Kelly crew peeps love the wink of Stella. Some people like a lot of bling. Some people like a little glimmer glitter. You could do your pumpkins also if you want, or you can stick to just your ghost, whichever look you're going for. Let me hold that up a little more so you can see it a little better. Can you see the shine on the ghost? See if we can get the light to catch that with the camera. Hopefully you can. I think that's pretty. Fun little paper. Okay, I'm going to show you how to use this is called our Very Best Trio Punch. And we're going to punch one side and you just punch in the middle. It kind of looks like you'd punch on an edge, but you don't. You just punch in the middle. You line up what you want. And if you want it to look the same on both sides, you have to flip the paper over. And you just line it up in the tracks. Can you see those little tracks on each side? There's a little ledge there that you prop this up against. You can tell in the back too that you've got it right here lined up. And then I would put it back down, especially this kind of the trio punch. I like to punch that flat down and not try to do it in your hands. It's just too difficult. Okay, now we have the little slot that we're going to do. And I'm just trying to get that centered in there. And now we've made a little slot for our ribbon. And this is called the Very Best Trio Punch. And it's number 159878. And I take off from the packaging whenever I take the punch out of its little cellophane wrapper. There's like a little instruction sheet that tells you what the name of this is. And I'm so glad I just turned that over because I found this earlier and had no idea where it came from, but right there is where it came from. Okay, so I chasing rabbits, sorry. I cut the name and the item number out of the little paperwork and stick it on there so that if anybody needs to know. There you have it. Easy peasy. All right. And thanks to my friend Susan for, let's see, we have somebody on the chat. And if you have, let me have your, if you've let Facebook have permission. Oh, it's Pauline. Hi, Pauline. You can lurk all you want. That's just great. Glad to have you on board. If you have any questions, holler. I'm just trying to really do this video so that the people who took my class to go, my Hallow-WOW-Ween, I called it, because we had some WOW folds. Trying to make sure they've all got videos on how to do them since they didn't get to make it to the class. And I'm going to go ahead and run this through. And I think I usually do it from the front. We'll have to see. You can kind of do it both ways. It just gives you a little bit different look. So you see I put both of those ends through the front. And now I'm putting both of those ends through the loop and pulling that taut right here. So there you have the cute little bow with the black and white gingham. Isn't that cute? And we're just going to trim this off a little bit. And this will fold over when you put it in your card. So I don't really worry that it's a little bit longer than the card front because of that. And we're going to use some dimensionals. And we've got some black dimensionals. We have white ones and we have black ones. So you can use either one you have. We're kind of going in between since we're not going directly on the black anyway. The white would probably work just fine. But it's kind of fun to use black ones now and then. And you could use 6 if you want to use 2 here instead of 1. It just kind of depends on what you like, how many dimensionals you like to use. All right, try to get some of this mess out so y'all aren't having to look at all this. Sorry about that. I forget your view is kind of extended here. Okay, so we're going to pop this up. I'm actually going to move this down just a little bit. There we go. Because we do have that greeting up there. Try to get that straight. There we go. Now we're going to pop this up, the little Halloween happiness. And I use the Stylish Shapes dies on this particular one. But if you get the Scary Cute bundle, it has a shape similar to this that's a little bit smaller that has this Halloween happiness in it. I just did not get this stamp set. I got the Bewitching one instead, and it did not have any greetings on it. So I was very grateful to my customer, Susan Little, for her loan of the stamp set. All right, I'm going to use some of the matte black dots, the big ones up here, to give it a little fun touch up there in the corner because I wanted the festive corners that punch made. But then I felt like it looked a little funny to have that blank space. So I thought those filled that very nicely. Now all we're going to do is cut this in half. Use our little paper snips. Because the Stylish Shapes, this is from that same die set, the Stylish Shapes dies. And I'm just going to put a little glue dot, which I've used this for a class, and I think we forget, some of us who have been coming for a while or using Stampin' Up products, we kind of forget that this can be on, this is kind of on a different side on this roll than it normally is. So we've got dots on both sides here. Whoops. And I did the dot on the wrong side there. All right, we're going to see if I can get that off. Yep. May never get it off my fingernail, but which is where it is stuck right now. Not wanting to come off. Okay, we're gonna have to peel it off with this finger. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's it. Now we're gonna go onto the top side of this because we're gluing it underneath the greeting. Now I'm just going to mount this like that. And the glue dots just make it easy. And when you want the liquid glue, you want the wiggle room, that's great. But if you don't, the glue dots are great because you don't have to let it sit and dry a little bit. Okay, now we're going to use our Stampin' Dimensionals. You got to have all kinds of adhesive. If you're going to be a crafter, you know, you just got to have all the things, all the different adhesives, because everything has its own place and purpose. And I'm glad that Stampin' Up! Has such a variety of them that no matter what we need to adhere to something, we can do that. All right, we're just going to put this up here. I'm going to hang that off the edge of the pumpkin pie a little bit, but not hang it off the edge of the card. Got it a little bit crooked. Let's try that. I just kind of barely put them on initially just to make sure I've got it the way I want it. Now let's close it up. And I haven't used my bone folder to kind of make those. I would recommend doing this earlier. If you're not following along and making the card, then when you go back and make one, do this earlier. I just forgot to remind y'all of that step. But I'm trying to get underneath here and get all those creases really nailed down, burnished well. All right. And on this card, I think it would be really cute, but I had already cut all my paper this way, but I think it would be really cute to do it like this so it would stand up also. See if I can get it to where y'all can see that on camera. But see, if you cut your paper 4 inches across and 3 inches up and down instead of the way I did it, 3 by 4, then it would work just great. You could use any stamp set here. You don't have to use the Scary Cute, but I do think it is really cute. I did that with the Stamparatus and Memento ink, went over it a couple times. And then this Boo is in Gorgeous Grape and the little sliver of moon is in Crushed Curry. And that's all there is to it. Easy peasy. How fun is that for a little Halloween fold? Halloween fun fold. So I appreciate you joining me. I'll turn the camera back up a little bit here. Let's do this one. How about that? Thanks again for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, I will have this card posted with all the measurements and everything on my blog at createwithkelly.com. I'd love for you to subscribe to my blog, and hopefully I'll be able to give you tips and techniques and fun folds and all that you might be interested in. So I'm glad you tuned in. Thank you, Pauline. I appreciate you being here at the live. I didn't give anybody notice. I just jumped in and thought I would get these videos done so that my peeps all have all the instructions they need. So thanks again. And Pauline, I'm about to do another card in just a few minutes. So if you want to hang in and watch another one, you're welcome to. I'll have it set up in just a few. Everybody else, I look forward to seeing you at a class soon in Lubbock. Check my blog for the calendar and you'll find out what events we have coming up. Stampin' Up! Also is having a free shipping day for orders of $75 and more that will be on October 4th. So that's coming up quickly. So free shipping is a big deal. And hope you will let me know and use my host code if you would. That's on the screen there. The 6AN3V3FW is the host code. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Fun times ahead. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.